Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world, and we're here today to show you how to upload Long War of the Chosen, that wonderful mod for XCOM 2. To start off, I'm just going to go through an installation guide. I'm going to include all the links to everything I use down below in the description so you can find it at the click of a button. We're going to start off with the installation guide here, and I'll include that link also. But the number one item on here is probably the most common thing I read about in the Discord channel. And if you've been using other mods on XCOM 2 before you're heading out to try this Long War of the Chosen mod, you have to make sure, if you're using the XCOM 2 War of the Chosen Community Highlander, that you unsubscribe to this before we even start. This is probably the most common thing I see as a problem, why this mod doesn't work for people on the Long War of the Chosen Discord channel, and that's why number one, it states in the installation guide, unsubscribe from the X2 War of the Chosen Community Highlander. The Long War of the Chosen mod comes with its own Community Highlander that will replace this. You cannot have both running at the same time. So the next step after that is to download Long War of the Chosen. Here it's showing the most recent, what we would call stable, approved, official version of the Long War of the Chosen on the Nexus mods, and you can find that right here on the Nexus page. And we're not going to be doing that one though. I'm going to be downloading the most recent developer build, and I'll show you where to find that. In fact, I'll include all these links, so depending on which version you are interested in downloading, you'll be able to find them for your use. I keep track, speaking of which, I keep track in Discord. I'll include the link to this Discord channel also under releases. Every time they do some kind of developer update, it's available. The link to it is available through the Discord if you keep track of the Discord. Plus there's discussion groups down below where you can find all sorts of stuff on general discussion, balanced discussion, new player help discussion. So it's a really useful tool if you're planning on using the mod to learn and discuss with others the ins and outs of this intricate little mod. So anyway, we're going to go to this Reddit page for the download that I want to do, and the one I'll show you. The same thing would apply to the Nexus download. It's just a matter of what source you're using and what version you're using for the download, but the basic instructions will still apply. So as far as the Reddit version, the most recent dev build I'm going to be downloading, which, you know, probably a few days from now could be obsolete, but the process to download will be the same. It comes with all the changes and then a link to download the release. And we'll just click on that link and take you over here, and we will download right here. And it just says it's too big to scan for viruses. Well, guess what? I'm going to download anyway, and we're going to save that file. And now that that link is downloaded, I'm just going to go over here to my download files. And we're going to see Long War of the Chosen dev 0024 zip. That's the one I'm downloading right here. We can open it up, and you're going to see the two pieces to that mod. Now it comes in zip form, so you'll need to have a program to unload it if it does not come with your browser or your version of Windows. There's all sorts of different versions out there. I'm not going to teach you today how to extract a file, but I will let you know there's lots of different ones. WinRAR is something I think I'm using currently. I've used other forms of unzip files before. Lots of them exist. If you've never unzipped before, just Google how to do that. That's not going to be covered in this particular tutorial. So anyway, we're going into our downloads file, and we have these two items, and we have to come up with a place to extract this game file. And what we're going to do is browse where we want to go and extract this to. And if you go into your local disk, which for me, where all my Steam programs are, is on disk C, you may have it located on your particular computer on a different drive, but on mine it's C. Wherever you have yours, you'll just start this search in that disk where you have it. Go to Program Files 86, then we go down to Steam, then we go down to Steam Apps, then we go to Common, and there you find XCOM 2. We open that up to then XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, and then we're going to open XCOM Game. And in here is where you need to have a mods folder. And I made sure it doesn't exist on mine, because for a lot of you it will not exist. So if you just right click here, we can make a new folder up here, and we'll just name it mods. And there it is. And that is the destination we want to extract these two files, Long War of the Chosen and the XCOM 2 War of the Chosen Community Highlander that this mod uses. And those files are going to extract to that location. Alright, we're just about complete here with that extraction. Doesn't take too terribly long, the whole process. And there we go. And if you're one of those doubters wondering, oh well, did I extract it to the right place? It's really no big deal. All you got to do is open up to your PC, go into your C disk, and follow right back in there, and you can visually make sure that it's there. If you just aren't sure, if you've never done this before, feel free to just go in there. XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, XCOM Game, and now we have a mod file, and in that mod file there's the two units that we wanted to extract there. Now this process, or this link I'm going to give you for the installation steps, also tells you what to do if you're going to be upgrading to a newer version. I'm not going to do that today. I'm really talking about a clean install today. The next thing we need to do is download what's called the Alternative Mod Launcher. That you can find over here if you just go to your favorite. Mine happens to be Firefox. I'm using it right now. Go to your favorite browser of choice and type it in, and that'll take you to where we need to go, the XCOM 2 launcher, and click on that. And it takes you to this page. And if you scroll down, you'll find where to download the latest release. It also has its own install instructions. So we're going to go hit that download button. And we're going to download that mod launcher. And once again, I'm going to save that file into my download file. And once that's downloaded, all we have to do is just go into my downloads file on my PC, which is for me right here. And you'll also see then the XCOM 2 Alternative Mod Launcher in the most recent version, as of this recording, 1.4.1 zip. So once again, we're going to click on that to extract what we need from there. And where I just put this mod launcher is on my desktop. So we can extract all and give it a location where we want it. So I'm just going to go over to my desktop. I'm going to make a file here, so I'll just right click again, make a little folder for it, and just type in Alternative Mod Launcher, and there we have a folder for it from which to extract everything. Okay, so on my desktop now, I have it right here. I'm going to put it where I'm used to having it. I deleted everything for this video, so I gotta put it all back where I'm used to having it. And so now we can open up the launcher with the execute file for the XCOM 2 launcher. And let's go open it up. And yes, we do want to run it. We understand. I'm going to run it anyway. And then you get this pop up to the alternative mod launcher. We're going to choose the XCOM 2 game, and then you can make a choice. Please help us improve this launcher by enabling anonymous error reporting. So you can choose to either disable or enable, just depending on your preferences. And then we'll continue. And in front of us we have the alternative mod launcher. Now you're going to see a bunch of mods listed. These are the ones I happen to use. I use quite a few for Long War of the Chosen, but this is where they are. None of them are active, none of them are chosen at this point. There's something we have to do first. We have to go into options and make sure the settings are okay before we use this alternative mod launcher. And there's two paths that you want. I think it usually finds on its own this first one, and this is the pathing to where the mods are from the workshop. This is usually where they end up. And the other path that you want is for where we actually put Long War of the Chosen and the Highlander 2 files from that download. So just as a refresher, if you didn't have it there, all you'd have to do is go to your disk where it's located, program files 86, Steam, then Steam apps, Steam apps, then common, then XCOM 2, XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, XCOM game, and then mods. And that's the link that you would then make. So you have both these links. This is what tells the alternative mod launcher where to look for the mods that we needed to launch. I also tend to mark check for updates, so the alternative mod launcher is able to find all the mods that we're using for this game. And we got a whole bunch of new ones right here, and groups them all together. And what we're going to do is we got them all. They're all here. They're all listed here. These are all the new mods we want to use. You may have a very small amount of mods on yours, or maybe you have none. I don't know. But what there is that you need to start with is a minimum of 4 mods, along with Long War of the Chosen and the Highlander. So we're going to end up having 6 of these boxes checked. Where you find that, and once again I'll provide a link, is in the workshop itself under collections. If you search for Long War of the Chosen, the abbreviation, required mods, you'll come up with this collection, Long War of the Chosen required mods. And clicking in there, it'll list out, and you can actually, if you haven't subscribed to them yet, you can quickly subscribe to them this way. We need to do the first launching of this mod to subscribe to just these 4, along with Long War and the Highlander, to get it started for the first time. All the others that you want to use, all those others you saw in my mod launcher, those get added later. For the first time that we're going to run this mod, these are the only ones that you want to start with. And then there's one more thing that's recommended before we launch this game. Well, first of all, let's just get subscribed to the ones we need. And we just got to go down here and looking for the ones we need. We need the beta community Highlander. We need better second wave mod support. So it's just a matter of scrolling down here to look for them. And they're in different alphabetical order depending on what they have in brackets. But within those subgroups, they are in alphabetical order. Long War of the Chosen itself, we need that checked. We need War of the Chosen RoboJumpers Squad select. And then a couple I passed on the first swipe, so we'll just go back up and pick up the couple that I'm missing. That one I pass up. War of the Chosen Revert Overwatch Rules Change, and War of the Chosen Mod Config Menu. So now we have the few that we're going to be using to start off. Once again, I'll just scroll right down. We want to have the Community Highlander chosen. We want the Mod Config Menu chosen. We want the Revert Overwatch Rules Change chosen. Better Second Wave Mod Support chosen. Long War of the Chosen itself, you would hope you didn't miss that one, chosen. And finally the War of the Chosen Robo Jumpers Squad Select. So now we're ready for the first time, once we subscribe to these, to get ready to download in a moment. The first thing we want to do is we want to go into our documents up here, and My Games, and then we're going to go into XCOM 2, XCOM Game, and the config file. We're going to empty that out. You may have different things in here. Mine's pretty empty at the moment because I've already emptied it out. I just kind of did a dry run through on this before, but they recommend starting clean for your first time you're going to be playing this game. So we'll just highlight those and delete. You can delete however many you happen to have. I think the first time I deleted had quite a bit more in there. That file will get rebuilt once we load the game up. Now we'll go back to the Highlander, and we have only those mods required for the initial startup. And we're going to start the game. So we're going to run War of the Chosen. And there you go. It's starting to load. All right, and here we are. You see the Long War of the Chosen button down here. That is a good sign. If you see New Game button instead, you want to exit the game completely and launch it again. The New Game button at that time should now then be replaced by this Long War of the Chosen button that you can start the game with. I always like to just go in here, and I'm not going to make you watch all the loading screens, but my little test is to make sure everything works out before I go adding all my other mods in here, is I do hit start once and just kind of set it up for a game. I'll go through this setup when we do this one more time with all the mods I want loaded in here. But for now, I'm just doing this to just make sure we load that first episode, make sure we have our 8 starting soldiers and that it seems to be working properly. Then we'll back out, load the other mods I want, and make sure it's working once and for all. And we've loaded onto Operation Gatecrasher. It should say that you're going to ambush an Advent troop column as opposed to exploding the monument that you do in the base game. So this is the first initial sign, and we just hit launch and we see the 8 soldiers. We know it's all installed the way we need it. All right, so we have 8 soldiers, one of which is one of the special soldiers. In this case, random. We have a Reaper with us on this one. So everything has started properly. We can escape at this point because we know we have it set up the way we need it to be, at least to get started. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, just so you see what may or may not happen, depending on what extra mods you have chosen, I'm going to now go through and select all them. For me, I know this is the list of the mods I want to use. It's the only ones I'm subscribed to right now. You may have some where you check some, not others. Maybe you use some mods for the base game and not War of the Chosen. Who knows? But for my case, I know I want to highlight all of them. So I'm going to go through and do that, and we'll be right back. And we now have all my mods that I like to use chosen. And what you're going to see is once you have them all picked out and chosen, certain other things may show up here. For instance, I have 2 mods that show as a conflict. And what it does is it helps warn you to potential problems that may come up when you use these mods. On this one, however, I've done the research. In fact, if you go to Gotcha again and look at the description and you go to peek from concealment, you'll find out that Gotcha again is required for peek from concealment. And yet it's trying to tell us that they are in conflict. Well, when you read, I think it's either one of these two mods, when you read the descriptions, it's a known problem, and they should still work in spite of this mod launcher telling us that there's a conflict. And then the other thing I've come up with is some of the mods here that I like to use. It says they're missing dependencies, and once again, you can go in here and take a look and read the description and figure out. Sometimes you'll say, "Oh yeah, it says I need this mod," and then you can go ahead and subscribe to it, and that'll start reducing those missing dependencies. Or you'll find out that some of these are just going to show up here no matter what, because you've done everything it says to do under the mod description to make it work. And I already know, I've tested a lot of these, and I haven't had what I feel are game-ending conflicts with them. So I know I'm good to go now. So you may have different mods, different conflicts. I highly advise going through all the descriptions to make sure you figure out if they can work and play well together, because the last thing you need to do is have them mess up your game and your playthrough. So now that we have all the mods in here, we're going to do one final start. And on the list, the install list, I'm going to link down below that I went through, the steps I went through to do this. Also has a list of encouraged and recommended mods. And I highly recommend those at least if you want to start out without too many mods to get started. Most of the mods I use are cosmetic or UI kind of mods, or things that make it easy. They don't really change the gameplay so much. They just put a lot of information at my fingertips, or their voice packs, things like that. One type of mod that you do want to steer away from at this point are the map mods. They just don't tend to play nice. I would make sure doing lots of research. There's lots of people on the Discord where you see that they're testing or trying out these different mods. But for the most part, map mods, parcel mods don't play nice at this point with War of the Chosen. So we're going to run the game and get through our first playthrough. There's just a couple minor things I'll show you, at least for one of the mods that they recommend. I'm going to show you one thing that you do have to do to make that work and be playable. All right, and here we are on the main screen. If you open up options right here, you're going to see one of the mods that we are recommended. One of those initial mods, the mod configure menu. It gives us this button in the options page where you can actually go into. Well, not every mod comes with one of these, but the mods that give you choices, you can set those choices right here. One mod that often shows up and a ton of us love to use is extended information. There's one thing you do have to do in extended information is you want to make sure, obviously I've done it at some point, because a lot of times show aim assist by default is marked off right here, but you want to eliminate anything to do with aim assist on this particular mod if you're planning to use it, the extended information mod, because it will not work properly if you do not turn off any aim assist. And I think that's the only one at this point anymore left in here. So I just wanted to give you that tip on that particular mod, because that's one that a lot of us like to use. And so you basically, before you start, go in and just look through all the mods that you use. I'm not going to show you all mine because you may not use some of the ones that I use. And make sure you save and exit those choices. Now we'll just start a game, And you pick, first of all, whatever level you like to play on. If you're just amazing and wonderful, you'll play on Legend. I think the first playthrough I tried on Veteran. My next playthrough coming up in about a week's time, I'm going to be running on Commander. I reduce the VO, that's up to you. I show subtitles just for my recording purposes. And then the toggle advanced view option right here is where you want to go if you want to play with the Chosen. So you'll notice this choice right here, the Chosen, it enables the Chosen. They do not start right off from day one. In fact, at various times in the mod's evolution, they've started at different times, different force levels. They may show up on different kinds of missions. That's varied all through the genesis, or the way this mod has been upgraded over time. But if you want the Chosen to show up, you definitely want to choose that. They also added a new option for baby Chosen. So if you don't know, because prior to this most recent update that I'm downloading, the Chosen, they had really buffed them really strong, and I was almost afraid to play the mod. They had made those Chosen so strong. So if you're a little hesitant to take on the full wrath of the Chosen, they have a baby Chosen option here, so their prime reactions are disabled. So it might be a nice way to slowly ease on into it while you learn the rest of the systems for the game. And resistance orders by default are not chosen. If that's something you want to play with, you would mark that. And the starting ally you get at the beginning of the game is randomized between these three, the Templar, the Skirmisher, and the Reaper. If you have a particular one that you want to start with, as opposed to just allowing it to be random, then you can choose one of these three here. Most of the rest really aren't ones that you're going to probably want to choose. Greatly increase hit points for most units for longer tactical engagements, unless you just like long battles, long tactical maps. Grim Horizon, I would probably steer away from that. Who wants all the dark events permanent? This mod is difficult enough as it is. If you want a longer avatar project, you have that option. Doubling the length of mission timers, you have an option for that. And then what I did on one playthrough is I picked this one, allow soldiers to purchase multiple class abilities within the same upgrade rank. I did that on one playthrough just so I could try out, since this mod was new, and just try out all the different types of upgrades and promotions there were, just to see exactly what they did and what I liked and what I didn't like. But for the most part, you are not going to check that for a regular playthrough. So that's pretty much there what you're looking at. I would highly recommend starting without Iron Man, because as of course, even if you start with the Nexus version 3.1, I think it was called, it's very, my experience was very stable. But I still recommend, since this is a mod in development, just start without Iron Man, and if you want to play that way, play that way. And then finally, there's these final two options here. You can integrate the Alien Hunters DLC and Shen's Last Gift this way, or you can, because they will work, play the Alien Hunters mission and Shen's Last Gift mission this way by checking them that way. The one thing they say do not do is leave them all blank. That can lead to problems and is not recommended. I usually just play integrated at this point. There's enough changes coming on with this mod. I don't play the separate missions that way. But if you haven't played them a while and you miss them, go ahead, play through them. And then you hit continue and you're good to go. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope this how-to has made it easy and clear for you on what you got to do to download this mod. If you have any questions, I'll try answering them down below. Or if I can't give you the answer or come up with it, or have never experienced your problem, I'll try to forward you on to the proper resources so you can get the answers that you need. All the links that we discussed in this mod, whether it's the Nexus mod links, the Discord link, the Reddit link, the alternative mod launcher link, the guide that I use, the installation steps, I'll link to that, and I'll also link to the workshop the required mods link for that initial startup. So if you can think of anything else that you might want to link to, let me know and I can add it there, because I'm sure if you want it, somebody else might want it too. So I hope this was helpful for anybody, especially if you've never downloaded a mod like this before. That's kind of what I geared this installation guide for, is very basic for you, those of you that may never have done it before, and those of you that just wanted a reminder. I hope it helped you too. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the future.